I wanted to extend my Christmas greetings to the Raider Nation. All of you who may have not been there, like myself, that was a gift unwrapped, man, that outshined anything else under the tree. That win and how they did it in Arrowhead.
Yep. Yep. Well, we'll get to all that and maybe a few tidbits more. Dallas was in Miami. The Ravens went to San Francisco. We'll get a few other things. Welcome to the show, Cap. I know you're ready. I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I'll have to see if I'm ready. And I don't know. Is V ready? Wayne, are you ready?
I'm on the clock, baby. Let's go.
All right. Welcome everyone to NFL Nation Live, our Week 17 show. Hope you caught all the cool stuff in the intro there. Tried to shove a few things in there, including that sweater from the Raiders Chiefs commercial.
I got that.
That was pretty cool.
I do.
And then a little shout out to Coach Pierce there near the end. So hopefully you caught all that. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Let's close the books on Week 16. Most of the stuff we want to talk about happened in Miami, where the Dallas Cowboys went in and got beat by the Dolphins. Look, this is the game Dallas needed to win after dropping the one that they lost in Buffalo the week before. If Dallas wasn't concerned before that, I know these are AFC games on the road that technically don't have to win, but Philadelphia won their game, took care of business. Now there's a one game differential with still 2 to play. You could argue Dallas has the better schedule, but anybody nervous in Dallas at this point?
I guarantee you guys, there's still a lot of chatter, like it has been, about Dak not being able to win the big ones on the road. That's been like a dark cloud, and that cloud didn't get any lighter after what he did in Miami. They basically let that one slip away.
Yeah, they did that. They definitely did that. There's a few other teams let some slip away too.
Oh yeah.
And Captain, we're just now getting the chat open, so sorry for a little delay there while the internet catches up to all of us. Welcome to the show, Ed and
up,
Ed and Ed
JB?
and JB. And Jack, in case you missed it, Jay, in case you missed it, Ed says he's gonna call you after the show.
Yeah, I caught that. I what I want to do is I didn't have my hands on, and you were something about that Captain Jack can do that on his show. What in tarnation? And I don't have my hat on, so I have no clue. Or as I had added, if I could, what in tarnation were you talking about that I can do it on my show, but I can't do it on this show? I'm curious.
Oh no, so what happened? We welcomed you to the show. And then Wayne said something. I said, well, that's nice that he can say that on your show. Because remember last week people were asking you.
Oh,
So it was just a
continuation. Continuation.
You got to pay attention on our show.
Little twisting.
By the way, folks, if you're on my channel and you're wondering who my guests are,
Yeah, exactly.
It's our show.
It is our show
on the NFL Nation Live YouTube that is kind enough to broadcast on my channel as well. So remember, our show with the 2 main stars, Ref Guru and the Hall of Famer Wayne Violator Mabry, and me for comic relief.
That's right, which is really what we need, Hal. Speaking of comic relief,
what's up, Justin?
The Bengals didn't surprise last week, got beat by the Steelers. We put Cincinnati on the clock back in week 12. I think that one pretty well took care of itself. My pick for this week on the clock is Houston, actually. But we can talk about that later. Let's just kind of skip around because some stuff in week 16 didn't really matter. Although one game that sort of kind of did. Well, we can't leave off the Michigan Wildcats. Went into Minnesota, beat the Vikings. All right, by 6 points. They're gonna have the Vikings again next week. So they go to Dallas this week, right? And this is not the week that anybody wants the Dallas Cowboys. They're going home. They're ticked off. I don't see really how the Michigan Wildcats are going to win this one. Although if they did, I think I think everything in
Where's
Texas.
my cigarette? I have to pretend I have a French cigarette in my hand. I need a Violator cigar.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
there you
it
go.
looks real.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you're going to smoke something, V57s, baby. V57s. Do I got this right? I don't know. It hasn't been cut, so I guess anyway is anyway. This is the red port. Is this going to mouth or is it? You tell me.
That end, the dark end, the dark end.
The
Yes,
dark
sir.
end.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for those that are just viewing, and you said the dark end goes in your mouth,
Right.
do not listen to what you just said.
Absolutely. Oh,
Just
man.
saying.
What's up, Daniel? What's up, Daniel and Bishop? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, NFL Nation After Dark. Yeah, but you got a good point there, and I will come back to that in a second, Cap, because that's a really good.
Cap! Who is this Cap? I am Jean-Paul Jacques. You imbecile. We are talking about Detroit, Lyon, and then you go on a tangent. Tangent.
Hey,
T-A-N.
You're the one that broke. You're the one that broke character right in the middle of doing the Frenchie stuff to smoke a.
Screw you!
These guys are getting along great tonight. I love it. I love it, man.
All right, but anyway, so okay, let's finish this one. So the Minnesota Vikings we put on the clock in week 5. I think that they're pretty much done. They can play spoiler now a little bit, but the Lions are in. That's the key here, right? They're not only in, they're division champs.
Lyon, for the first time in 30 years. Viva la Detroit, Lyon.
30 years.
30 years, baby.
Yeah, so the Wildcats are division champs. They're in. The rest of it doesn't really matter at this point. But what kind of effort are we going to see out of those Cats when they go down to Dallas this week?
I don't think there's no letting off the gas. They're going to be, biting kneecaps and all that kind of stuff when they go down there. Dallas better be the one prepared. I mean,
I agree with you on that.
That was a physical game in Miami.
Yeah.
This one is going to notch that just by a hair.
Yeah, maybe so. I think the issue here with the Wildcats winning the division so early, there's a sexual
Wildcats. You know, hey, they have the. If you're going to talk about that, there's the Wolverines. You know, like that channel where they no. The from I don't know that movie from a long time ago from with Patrick Swayze,
Werewolf from
Charlie
London?
Sheen. Oh my God, you are such a crank imbecile! Somebody school this mouth out, you know.
Movie. Hey, look, if we ever play movie trivia, don't invite me to that party because I'm going to flunk it. But in any case, this is a little bit dangerous for the Wildcats right now because they've won the division. They really don't quote have anything to play for at this point, so to speak. So there's essentially 3-week lull here now. They're gonna go down to Dallas and they got Minnesota and they don't have a bye, so they'll play at home in the wild card round of playoffs. The question now only is going to be who from that standpoint. But anybody worried about the Wildcats getting a little soft here?
Don't talk about soft tips. No.
Hey, you're the one that put the dark end in there. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no.
Wow.
All right, so. And Daniel, we'll get to your question here a little bit because we're going to go back to the Raiders game just a second. I'm just concerned that the Lions might have to skip a beat here, and if they end up playing, Seattle or Dallas, that could be a trap game. I think if they play the Rams, they're probably okay or whatever. But just a little bit worried about the Wildcats at this point. Let's go back to skipping around. I know a little bit in Week 16 because there's not really a lot to talk about. But one of the games that was important for everybody this week, at least on this show, and a lot of our fans that follow the show, the Raiders went into Kansas City actually and beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead. No offensive points, 2 defensive touchdowns, and a field goal, a couple field goals. We can ask what happened here. We didn't really get jobbed by the refs.
No.
in terms of how it impacted the game. Although there were some very questionable calls.
That one call that I got on a shall we say, a group message, and as soon as I saw the flag, I'm like, I wonder if, and then a couple seconds later, I get a
Yeah.
group chat
Yeah.
from somebody who will remain nameless. That's the schmuck I was talking about.
Well, and that's what I told you last week, that's who's going to get the flag. I think that one bugged me because it was a phantom call. But
Right.
I think the other thing that could have impacted the game. Actually, I think it did impact the game, but we essentially got out of there with the win. Is I'm really frustrated Crosby's not getting his holding calls. I mean, some of those guys are just ugly. It's one thing to say, yeah, there's holding on every play. That he's getting duct taped to the fans and the ceiling on most of these plays. He's still making plays, but some of those are just ugly. I don't understand why they're not calling them.
If to me it's just a blatant acknowledgement of that ill will towards the Raiders that still continues. It's totally a pattern, and they don't care now that they show us on against one of our best players. Well, that's what I'm saying.
It'll be really interesting. Should the Raiders, in their outside chance to make the playoffs, who our officiating crew would be in week 1. That said, though, I mean, this is a Raiders team now, guys. One of the questions in the chat, let's just get right to it. Does AP get the Raiders head coaching job? I think the short answer is yes, but we've already talked about this to a point. We got to do something with the offensive side of the ball, I think, in terms of players and maybe some play calling. But I think, to me, the linchpin of whether he's in or out is this week in Indianapolis. If they beat the Colts, I think Las Vegas is just going to Las Vegas is just going to go ape shit. But to do that, they're going to have to score points. That offense just is not getting it done. They're 25th in scoring. They've been hanging around 25, 27. I think maybe the highest they got was 23. This is a Colts team, guys. It's number 9 in scoring with 354 points. The Raiders are going to have to pick it up here.
Well, the important thing is, and I'm sorry, V, for cutting you off. What is the stat for what the Colts defense is? Because if their defense isn't as good as the great, and I would say a very great Kansas City Chiefs, I think is a top 5 defense. That's one of the reasons why that the Raiders didn't score a lot last week, and the fact that their cornerback, cornerbacks, are allowed to friggin' rub and tug, not in a good way, on our wide receivers and tight ends, okay?
Yeah.
So if they're allowed to do that, and again, depending upon the officiating crew, that's one of the reasons why the quarterback didn't play well. But, hey, I would go for 0 interceptions in that game, along with the 0 completions from quarters 2 through 4. It depends upon what the defense is for Indianapolis, because I think with a defense that's not as stalwart, that you will see more of a execution of the 49-point outlay. And remember, the offense scored 49 points against the Garglers. It wasn't 63. It was 49 because the defense did 14. So what I'm saying is that if they get an output against a lesser defense and the officiating crew isn't as jacked up, and I'm sure we'll talk about that pretty soon, I think that they will be able to score those points.
Yeah, I think the Colts are somewhere around 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there in passing and rushing defense.
Well, that's worse than us. We're better than that.
Well, I'm just saying. But you're right, because the Chiefs are right there as well, right? I mean, that was basically your point there. And Bishop's got a good point. If we win out, Chiefs lose out, we win the division. That would be nuts.
That's one of those Hollywood stories, man.
Yeah. Well, and the Chiefs are home against Cincinnati. I don't think the Bengals are going to beat them, but who would have? I didn't pick the Raiders last week. You guys did.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you dig it?
Faith, baby. Faith.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Yeah. So there you go. I mean,
that made it extra special, though, man. Knowing that, hey, our hearts were in the right place.
Well, especially on especially on Christmas. I mean, that was a great gift.
Yeah,
that was a
best
great
present
gift.
I had, man.
That was a great gift. Let's see what else happened in Week 16. We want to talk about. Seattle won. Jacksonville won. Actually, Seattle won. Jacksonville lost by 18 to Tampa Bay. This is a Jacksonville Jaguars team, guys. That Trevor Lawrence has been saying all week that they better fix it. They better figure out what it is and fix it. I think he's right. I mean, this is a division now where 3 teams are tied at 8-7.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I don't think I don't really want to say this, but I think that nobody wants the Colts right now. I know they lost last week in Atlanta, unfortunately, or I guess fortunately because we needed them to lose. But I don't know if Jacksonville's going to be able to pull this off. We'll have to see whether they can or not. Arizona lost in Chicago. New England beat the Denver Broncos. Coach B, you gotta win in Denver. Congratulations on win 302.
302 is it now?
I think it's win number 302. You got that one done by 3 points. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah, like it was on to Denver and we kicked that ass.
Yeah.
And I don't know who. Let me see. Let me look at the game plan. We're on to Buffalo next week, but we kicked ass in Denver. We're 302.
You're gonna get your wings to go.
That's it.
Well, but here's the thing. Like I said, we went to Denver, and we won in Mile High, and the team did not pop positive for any of the edibles that they had a chance to ingest before the game. In all the dispensaries. Hopefully that won't be an issue. With the NFL.
Yeah.
But the NFL Hall, I mean, they should just give me my jacket now. I don't know why.
Come on in, Michael.
Present it to me, and just waive that period, that 5-year period, because, it's just give me the kind of like the one jacket that Ocho Cinco presented himself on that one day.
Yeah.
They should just make it an official gold jacket and just get it done. God forbid that I die of a heart attack tomorrow from all of the stuff that I got going on. But it was great. It's on the Buffalo.
Yeah, on the Buffalo.
The Hall of Fame coach. But it's a lot easier to handle this guy after a win.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
copy that.
Blessings to you there, Wayne. Good to see you there, sir.
Yeah.
Always, Coach.
Coach, can you put Captain Jack back on? I got a question for Captain. So,
quick change.
Yeah, there you go. You and Superman. So, what was the in and out, up and down, or sideways stuff on the Mile Roundtable Wild Wild West show yesterday? And if you're not watching that, you need to watch that. Get a Mile High Roundtable Network. Inside of that is Wild Wild West show.
MHRT Network, baby. That's great.
Richie J, Coach Defense, Captain Jack, and the Rat. No,
and Alex the Smug Man.
Yeah. I was joking about the Rat because he's Kansas City. Never mind. All right. So what was Richard J's take on the Denver
well, he did say that it was going to be a Belichick win, that they went out and they did all of the things that they needed to do to take care of the one, and actually the two. They went out and did not just one person; they put 2 people out of the game, and it was close. They won it in the end, and they got the kick. It was ugly, but it's a W, and that's what. And Richie Richey said it was going to be a very close game anyway, and he was correct. So he was saying that, and actually he's also on record with me that the trap game for the Raiders is going to be the last game of the season. Also, depending upon what happens this week with the Raiders, with the Broncos going into Vegas, but he pretty much said it was as he envisioned it, that Coach Belichick was going to do all the defensive things that they needed to do. They was so bad that it was so good at what they did that there is a quarterback this week that, just like last season, is benched for the final 2 games with Jared Stidham coming in. I think if they get rid of Stidham, wherever Stidham goes next year, that quarterback is going to suck, and he's going to be replaced the last 2 weeks of the season if it doesn't work out in Denver. And then it would be a great trivia. It's a great trivia question as it is now. Why is Jared Stidham so important? What's his claim to fame in the NFL? But there it is. But it's getting the Broncos, i.e. the Donkeys, off of what they needed to do.
And then after all that, they're benching Russ Wilson.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think he's getting the Derek Carr treatment. I think he's looking for greener pastures. I saw a post of his pretty much saying that.
Yep.
I agree with that.
And you know where he's going to go? He's going to go see me in Tennessee with all the moonshine, baby. We're going to get on the Russell Wilson Highway.
I'll take Will Levis if you want to dump him. I agree with that. I think this is a trap game for us coming up in Indianapolis. The other game of note, we
had a super chat ref right there from GA Patriot. Yeah.
I don't see that one.
I got it. Georgia Patriot.
Yes.
And he spent $5 for me to say, and also for all of us to say, me and you, Wayne, Raiders.
Yeah.
When the show's over, go back and watch the intro.
There you go.
Yeah, it's in there. Shout out to AP. You'll see it. The other game, the Blackbirds went into San Francisco, punched the 49ers in the mouth. I just don't think the 49ers were ready for the Ravens. I saw a Ravens team Gap and V that was just angry. This was not a game they needed to win. They did win, so now they still have a game up on Miami, and they've got the Dolphins at home this week, which is not a place the Dolphins want to go at all at this point, especially since they have Buffalo next week. I could see actually Miami losing 2 in a row here. But this is a Ravens team that just appears angry. What's your takeaways from their game in San Francisco against the 49ers on Monday night?
Listen, I'm sitting there watching this game with a young Ravens fan. Said, you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, this game was a battle from the warm-ups. These guys had a look on their face, and they pretty much took the character of their coach. All business, West Coast trip. Let's knock these guys in the mouth. They did that. Purdy was rattled all the whole first quarter.
He was.
And they didn't let up. They were relentless.
Yeah, they were. And if you're going to beat San Francisco, like you said in the green room, V, they gave them a blueprint for how to do that.
Absolutely.
Ravens wanted it more. I think that's true, Ed. And what was the other comment in there? Colts defense. There's the cap. There's your stat. You want a Colts defense
against the run.
Okay, if being 28 against the run is in our favor, but the question I have for us: who's going to be running the ball for the Raiders?
Zeus.
And
we're gonna get on our Zeus suit.
And I'm hearing that Josh may be back. He had a setback because of the flu, not the thigh contusion. So look for him to play. If he's able to run, he'll be out there.
And I tell you, I want to see a bit of both, because again,
it's
a matter of different styles with different running backs, with Zeus and Abdullah, and then you have you throw Josh in there. You even have Bolden that can do some stuff as well. Right. So I want to see all of them. We got a lot of running backs on the roster. I want to see at least a couple touches for each.
If we get 200 yards rushing, that game is ours. But we gotta score some damn points. We're just not scoring enough points.
Well, like you say, that KC game was just an off game for AOC, but that running game and the defense kept us in it.
Fresh legs in December has been working out for the Raiders. Well, can't argue that. All right. It's okay. So I think we closed the books on week 16. We got most of that out of our system. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, get you ready for week 17, including tonight's game in Cleveland, and a pretty important one for the Browns. They got the Jets coming in there. We got Sean Smith and his crew this week in Indianapolis. Joy. Yeah. It's not a huge issue with that crew. I'm not a Jeff Seaman fan. He's the line judge, but we don't have a lot.
What's up, Kev?
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back, and we'll get you ready for week 17.
What's up, fam? It's your boy Violator, just coming to you again to give you a personal testimony on these fantastic Fitline products that I've been using for a couple of years. And you've seen me on my quest to bring that body weight down, get back in shape like I used to be. And this is my secret weapon. These two products right here, Power Cocktail and Restaurant, my daytime and nighttime formula. At Fitline, we call them our optimal set. And baby, let me tell you, one in the morning, one before bed at night, and you let them do their thing. Trust me, these are some fantastic products if you're serious about getting your body where it needs to be, just improving your health overall.
All right, everybody, welcome back to NFL Nation Live. We've closed the books on week 16. We have turned the corner and headed towards the playoffs now. A lot of teams are out. Most of those teams, guys, that are out, we've had on the clock for quite some time. We've got a few that we put on the clock early, like the Rams and the Saints and the Bucks, and the jury's still out on a couple of those. But we'll put another team or two on the clock this week, and I think that's going to be it because everybody else that's going to be out is going to put themselves on the clock on their own. A couple of things in the chat before we get to there, though. I don't want to lose those. Daniel's asking your thoughts on our OC. And what was the other one? We can always use wide receiver Mayer to throw some TDs. Wait a minute. ALC4 has the best completion percentage of any Raiders in history after their first 7 starts? No way. Really?
I think I thought I saw a graphic that showed his completion percentage in like 93%, and then they had a bunch of other people on it. So if that's what Georgia is talking about, I did see a graphic that says that.
Wow.
I think, and really Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, that was from Graphic Raider, if I'm not mistaken, that put that graphic up. He'll let us know.
The one that I see is Patriot, but it could have been copied or something.
No. He puts that up.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the questions: what do you think about our OC?
He's a placeholder. I'm sorry. I mean, he's a placeholder until we have a real OC come in there. Now, and V, you can probably talk to this as well. He's getting a lot of help from some reputable people. Yep. I've heard Adam Gase. I've heard there was another guy that's a real OC, but he's a placeholder. He needed the help, and he opened it up. But what I want people also to realize is that when McFired left, it also allowed Graham to open up the defense to what he's really wanted to do. So that's why the Raiders' defense has been so much better since McFired got out there. And so, you know, the OC Bo is getting some help. But, you know, if he's talking about what do we feel about, hey, he's only got the playbook in front of him plus the little help that he's got. We're going to get a real OC after the season.
You know, turnovers could play a factor in Sunday's game as well. You know, I don't know where the Colts are with regards to turnovers, but
hey, Kerry.
But I know, hi, Kerry. I know a couple of their DBs are banged up too, so it's and I'm sure these guys are watching film. Any weakness, let's just go attack it. If we did that in KC, I don't expect nothing less in Indy.
Interesting stat here. Indianapolis, we look at the over-under. Even though Indianapolis has scored 354 points, they're minus 18. They've given up 18 more points than they've scored. Yeah. They've lost their games by a total of 84 points. We're only a minus 9. I don't want to be a minus anything, but if you're going to be a minus, be a single digit minus. And
Yeah,
well,
but that's skewed. That's skewed because
to a point.
that was a big number until we threw up 63. Okay, go back to what it was before it was 63, and that's more of an indication of what it was.
They were a little bit.
I mean, honestly, you got to look at it that way.
So if we make that score 24-21 instead of 63-21, okay, make it a field goal difference,
Right,
then they're minus 48.
Which is about what it's about 50 or so. Maybe call it even 40 points.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that look at the stat for what it is. Stats are for losers, like Raheem Morris used to say.
The Colts have lost 7 by a total of 84. We've lost 8 by a total of 94. So my point is that on paper, pretty close game, all things considered. All right. The Jets are going to go into Cleveland tonight to take on the Browns. The Jets have been done for a while, probably since Aaron Rodgers got hurt. We put the Jets on the clock actually pretty early. When did we put them on the clock?
Well, pretty much after week 1. I mean, they were done really week 1, but with Rodgers.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
They're going to go into Cleveland tonight, take on a pretty hot Browns team. Now, this is a Cleveland Browns team that over the last couple of weeks has won some games with Joe Flacco at quarterback. How do you see them doing at home against the Jets in the game that Cleveland doesn't technically have to win? They're number 5 seed right now in the AFC. So they've got a playoff spot if they want it. But I just think that the Jets, although everyone can talk about the defense, they're just not scoring enough points.
They're definitely not putting up enough points. But here's my thing with Cleveland. Cleveland has some momentum going now, even with the old man.
Yep.
So they're not going to I don't see them taking their foot off the gas after all the adversity they had to fight through to be in the position that they're in. I don't see them slowing down.
Well, and I'll tell you what, right now the picture I think would have them going to Jacksonville in the playoffs. I don't think the Jaguars want any part of the Cleveland Browns right now, quite frankly. No. I don't think anybody does right now. I think the Browns could go into Jacksonville and beat the Jaguars. I think they could go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. I don't think they go into Miami and beat the Dolphins, but
stranger things.
Yeah, stranger things.
You're right.
Cleveland is going to mop the floor with the Jets.
Yeah, thank you, Kerry. I love that.
Okay. All right.
Kudos again, Kevin Stefanski's team. Yeah. It's taken a couple years, but they really play for him. Yeah. And what you got Joe Flacco that's kicking ass. You got some guy by the name of Amari Cooper. I can't remember where I know that name from.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, but that team with the defense, and they got one of the better defenses in the NFL. Yeah, they're just going to whoop up on the Jets.
Gives a whole new meaning to the word jet dry. As far as mopping the floor.
Jet dry, good one, man.
The Wildcats are going to go into Dallas and get beat by the Cowboys this week. I just don't see the Lions pulling this one out. Jared Goff, I just don't trust the Lions right now. I know they're the division champs, rightfully so, deservedly so. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the Packers aren't really up to snuff. So I won't say that, Detroit was gifted anything in the NFC North, but to a point, the Wildcats have won this thing when the other teams are kind of on the downside, but they still are the division champs. So they're going to go into Dallas, play the Cowboys. The problem is I don't think anybody wants any part of Dallas this week. Not after that. Dallas lost 2 in a row, Buffalo and Miami. Nobody wants to go to Dallas right now and play the Cowboys.
Well, look at this. Nobody wants to face the Lions either. Like
I
said,
I don't trust their defense.
But see, their defense took like a day off this past week. Don't expect that 2 weeks in a row because I saw that myself. I want to crank it up.
I want to say that the meaning for that.
We're going to smoke them all. We're going to smoke all of these. The Victory Cigars.
Speaking of
57s, baby, make sure you get your own and smoke them.
All right. So speaking of smoking them,
by the American Cancer Society.
Right. So speaking of smoking them, and look at that stat from GAPG. AOC 4, 62%, Carson Palmer 61, Gannon 61, Carr 61, Kerry Collins, I can't believe it was 58.
Wow,
that guy couldn't
man.
throw across the street
That
in a
high?
parked car. Top Raider quarterbacks after 7 starts. That's crazy.
Wow.
I would have said it was Gannon, quite frankly, but it's still close. It's within a point, almost 62.3 to 61.2. So whatever.
But he's in good company. That's what that shows.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he's in good company.
speaking of smoke and stuff, Cap, if you've got those smokes, put them back up there. Tell us a little about those and where people can buy them.
Well, I appreciate that. My V57s, like I said, they're a signature blend, and you just send me a DM on any of my social media, and I'll give you all the shipping details. But great smokes, great gifts.
So it looks like there's different flavors there. Is that what's going on?
There's different. I call them nuances. People get see, because these aren't flavored cigars. They're different nuances. So each band represents a different nuance. So hit me up and I'll give you all those details on that.
And how did you come about getting all that put together with those nuances? You work with somebody, or is that an intellectual property secret, or?
No, it was just a gift. It was one of my blessings. I'm an avid cigar smoker, and somebody presented me with the opportunity of having my own.
Okay.
So I kind of ignored it for a while, but now 5 years running, it's been great.
That's pretty awesome. It says,
yes, Daniel, I ship them worldwide.
There you go. Worldwide, baby.
Wow, that's good to know. All right.
Oh, by the way, make sure you're also picking up the walk. If we're going to be getting some stuff from the V57 line, the walk from the great Hall of Famer Wayne Violator Mabry. Sorry, I screwed up the thing. But yeah, make sure you go on the site for that as well. The walk.
That's it. Appreciate it, man. Good combination.
Hit
me up, GA.
Are those purchased individually or as a set, or?
You can get them individually, but that's what Cal had up there. That's my sampler pack.
Okay, and how much does that go for?
$32.
Really? That's
$32.
That's not bad at all.
I want you to smoke them.
We may have to give away one of those on our trivia.
We can do that very easily.
Okay, I'll talk to the finance committee.
They will never be smoked by me because they are too awesome.
Well, you don't even know which end to put in there, so I'm not surprised.
That's another reason why I don't know what the fuck I'll do with them.
Oh man!
So what you guys pick? You taking the Leons, or you taking the Cowboys?
I'm taking the Leons.
What?
Yes, I'm taking the Leons to go in there and shock Dallas.
I'm putting the cheeseburger on that one. I'm taking the Cowboys. They are pissed off.
Yeah,
I don't trust the Lions defense, and Jared Goff. I don't really trust him on the road to go into Dallas, beat the Cowboys. This is a playoff game, maybe, but
yeah. But I'm taking Leons.
Okay.
Viva the Wayne Mabry!
Okay. He's going with the Michigan Wildcats. All right. Miami's going to go into Baltimore, take on the Ravens, and probably one of the classic matchups of this week. Huge game in the AFC. A loss by the Ravens would tie them with Miami and really just throw all the seeding of everything into a Week 18 free-for-all. I just don't see it. I think here's the thing. I don't know how banged up the Ravens are after that rough and tumble game, essentially, that they had in San Francisco. If they're beat up, dinged up, and a little scraped up, I'm not saying Miami isn't either after playing at home against the Cowboys, but maybe not quite the same. If Baltimore is limping, if you will, into this game, Miami's got the offense to win this, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. What do you guys think about this one? I'm going to give the Purple Birds the edge at home.
Definitely giving the Ravens the edge at home. Weather, and they're at their own nest. So
weather could be a factor, especially for the Dolphins.
Be a factor. Yes.
Yeah, I like the Ravens game planning better. I think, but I think the two things that have changed for Baltimore at this point, they're playing some defense and they're starting to run the ball a little bit. Waddle is out. Well,
thanks, Lafayette.
Okay, but is that really that big a deal?
And Hill's still not 100%. So if you have Waddle out and a banged up Hill, that is a Miami Miami offense that is like been shot and crippled. and you're going to Baltimore where it's cold. It's not 80 degrees with in December with maybe even like 50% humidity. It's Ravens all day long.
Yeah, and it's not a game Mostert can win on his own, right? From the running game.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Coach B's going to go into Buffalo and get his wings to go. I just don't see the Patriots getting out of there with the win against a very angry Buffalo team right now. Coach B, you got the win last week in Denver by 3. Congratulations. I'm not sure it's going to be win 304 this week or whatever it is against Buffalo.
Segment for you to friggin' congratulate me. What the hell? That didn't just come out of your mouth.
Oh, well, it happens.
And that is why I disrespect people that wear that frickin' black and white clothes, because they're disrespectful to the man, the coach.
I'm glad you guys are in 2 different cities, man. I love this.
Yeah. Well, it's a country apart. It's a country apart.
Yeah.
Because you know what I got to say with that?
I can't see that far. I have bad eyesight.
Yeah, I'm going to shove this thing so far up there. You won't care what that cigar goes in. Okay.
You know what? The only thing you got on me is probably about 6 inches of height. And for those that don't know, he definitely does have about 6 inches of height.
That's probably true. Well, don't forget the flags, another 6 inches.
No, but remember, though, that I'm going to put those flags together. I'm going to make them like one of those little toys that you see in Amsterdam that goes in and out of other things. And it's not,
you can fly that on your ship then, huh?
All right. Ain't on my ship, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a referee black and white special.
There you go.
Black, white, and yellow special. And I'll even throw a red one in there just to make it color nice.
Giants Chronicles asking if I watched the Eagles Giants. Not
yes,
really.
I asked. Sorry, the captain here. I asked him to pop in.
Yeah.
Because there was a bunch of different calls that he wanted to ask you about, and so I told him to make sure he piped in on this show.
Well, let us have it. In the intro, I don't know if you saw that. You guys to see the intro. We should roll that again. That had some good stuff in it. It did have the still shot of the referee in the end zone surrounded by the Eagles players.
Yeah. Ready to choke him out.
Yeah. I did not see the whole game, but if you want to ask a question about whatever it is you think you saw, we'll try to do it retroactively. If they do play that game on NFL Network, though, I will watch it.
I can give the one that he did talk about on my show was at at the very end when some guy by the name of Waller, I can't remember, that name sounds familiar for some reason. Just put out the thing. A guy by the name of Waller catches the ball. He's injured. He gives the ball to an official, and according to Gabe, and I'm not sure on the clock here, according to Gabe, the official basically took the ball and did nothing with it for about 10 seconds.
I did see that.
Saquon Barkley grabbed
the ball,
and told him, let's put it in play, because what Gabe was saying is that the official deliberately juiced the clock of 10 seconds.
Yeah, sounds like
by the Giants.
Sounds like it.
Although I did say I didn't see the game, I did see parts of the game, and I did see that part, and I totally agree with you. That was the exact feeling that I had, was that after the play was over, and there's a nuance there, I'll explain in a second. But just as a fan watching that game, I'm like, what are the officials doing? Do they not know that the Giants don't have any timeouts with the clock running? Right. They should be running around like their asses on fire, and they were just going like, "Geez, is it time for my cocktail?" Or my purple wrapped, whichever end I'm supposed to. Bring this
That's right.
That's what it felt like. Part of the issue was that when Waller got up, he was kind of holding on to the ball. And I think, and I'm not going to defend the officials too much here, because I agree with you that I think they essentially, like you said, juiced the clock. But part of the issue from the nuance standpoint is that Waller gets up, doesn't really do anything with the ball. And I think the official was like, are you going to give it to me? Are you going to run it back in there and set it down? What are you going to do with it? That micro hesitation took 5 seconds of that 10 or whatever it was off the clock.
Right.
And I'm not saying that was the right, But you got to coach your players. In that situation, you got to coach to them. What are you going to do with the ball when you're
Right.
outside the hash? Essentially, outside the hash between there and the sideline. That's no man's land for the ball. That's the worst possible place to have the ball with the clock running and no timeout, because you can't get it to you. You can try to get it to the sideline, but are you supposed to run it back over there and put it down? What are you supposed to do with it? And there's a lot going on here. First of all, the line judge should have been in there yelling ball, ball, ball. And if Waller still decides to stand around like, geez, maybe I should do something with the ball, that's on him. But when they finally did just do something with the ball, the umpire, whoever's supposed to spot the ball in the middle of the field, was like, what am I supposed to do? Put the ball down? And I'm like, yes, put the ball down. And so it was a comedy of errors. It was an unfortunate set of errors,
Yeah.
but it was 75% officials and 25% players. Because if the players aren't going to be coached, that's fine. But the officials shouldn't assume that the players know what to do. The line judge should have been in there yelling ball, ball, ball. And he's got the line judge has two options once he's got the ball. He can hurl it into whoever's going to spot the ball, which is usually the umpire, or he can set it at his feet so that the field judge, side judge can get another ball into the umpire and they can set that down and keep going. But the mechanics by the officials late in the game with the clock running and no timeouts for the Giants screamed, oh, let's just give this one to Philadelphia. The optics were bad, but I blame the officials more than the players. But the players have to be coached a little bit better, I think, in that situation. But again, the ball outside, the ball between the hash and the sideline is the absolute worst place for the ball to be when the clock's running, because I think the official went in there. I think if I recall right, you can see the official off the sideline, and he's like waiting for Waller to do something with the damn ball, either give it to him or take it back in there. And I think that hesitation cap ran a good 5 seconds off the clock.
Yeah.
But I blame the officials for not going in there yelling ball, ball, ball. They should have been yelling ball, ball, ball. Somebody's got to be in there. It's not common for the back judge to be all the way in there on that play to get the ball. But remember, the umpire's on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So there's mechanics issues for the officials when the clock's running not that late in the game. Team doesn't have any timeout. Back in the day when the umpire was behind the line of scrimmage, he can get over there to get the ball.
Right.
Now the umpire's got to make his way through all of these people to get to the ball and then get back to where the ball is supposed to be. And remember, the line judge's responsibility there is not the ball. His job is the spot.
Yeah.
He can't just move his feet to go get the ball, because the umpire's going to be like, where do I spot the ball? Hopefully the line judge on the other side is mirroring in case the line judge, somebody gives up a spot, but way over there on that side of the field with the curve of the field, of those NFL fields, so the water drains, that line judge on the other side of the field can only see anybody from the knees up. He can't even see the field. It's not flat. So there's a lot of mechanics issues there. And so I blame Waller for just kind of, if you will, kind of hesitating about what to do with the ball, but I also blame the officials for not coming in there and yelling, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. It was just a fiasco of crap, and it's one of those things where it happens. I think it's as much the Giants' fault as anything else. I mean, they're the ones that burned all their time out. But I think the officials could have helped there, but they didn't, and it is what it is.
You don't think that's some feedback from last the couple of weeks ago with the Andy Reid fiasco?
Oh, you mean about the warning thing?
The warning, yeah. You don't think that's some feedback from that, or backlash from that?
Well, it's not the same crew.
I know it's different crew, but that memo probably went around too.
I would generally say in that situation, no, only because this was after a play that had been a legal play that had been in progress versus a Chiefs play, which technically never happened because Tomey was offside. Gotcha. A little bit different there. But I think in this case, whose crew was that? Let me look at that. Giants. Where was the Giant? Where were the Giants? Philadelphia?
Yeah.
That was Ron Torbert's crew.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah. Then and I'm just saying he sucks. Period.
Barry Anderson, Max Causey. Oh God, you'll never guess who the line judge was.
Let me see. Is his
Don't
name
say it.
Mahalik?
No, he's an umpire.
Oh.
But remember last week when you had a specific reference? I hope we don't repeat this week about a certain line.
I got
week?
you.
Wow.
I got you.
So
it was,
does that explain now? That explain now why the Giants lost 10 seconds off the clock?
Yeah. See right there.
Was it because that there might have been an official that it doesn't
Maybe.
have the same physical attributes to do stuff?
It ain't because of the physical. It's because some attributes, but not physical.
There's attributes.
Yeah.
Most
There's
of them
attributes
from up here.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it a lot cleaner than I did.
I
last
appreciate
week. By
that.
the way, did you see my apology?
I didn't get a chance to, but I'll take your word for it that it was there, and I'm sure it was just fine.
I did.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
And again,
also, there was
for all those that don't know, I said this. It was me. I went overboard, and I got some feedback from, from some ladies, and I said I went overboard and I shouldn't have done it. So it was the ladies told me, man, you messed up. So I took care of it.
He also said, thank you. He says there was a play at the end of the second half where the ball was out of Hertz's hands and a player was recovering the ball, wasn't ruled a fumble, and they called a delay of game on the Giants.
What?
Well, that's just a bitch crew.
I'd really like to see that because to call delay a game, for the most part, I got to see the play. Not having seen the play, for the most part, delay a game on the defense, if you will, for messing with the ball is going to have to be picking it up and throwing it into the stands, kicking it, taking it out of the hands of an offensive player who's trying to get it to a or back. I'd have to see that one. Not
a personal foul, by the way, guys. It was a delay of game. Not that we harped on that either.
Yeah. Well, what was delay a game? A personal foul?
It was a personal foul, according to the schmucks that had the Raiders-Chargers game last year in L.A.
Yeah, personal foul.
Wow. Now, that's a dead ball foul. Well, man, there's some messed up officiating out there.
15 instead of 5.
Hey, but you see the people that's seeing it just like we are.
Well, and that's a tribute, I think, to the fact now that maybe folks are able to gain some stuff on this show about how to watch the game in the first place. But from the Chronicles Giants podcast, thank you for those. If they replay that game, and they might have already on NFL Network, I will watch it again to see what was there. But that one where the players are covering the ball, it wasn't ruled a fumble. They call it either delay a game or personal foul. I'd have to see the game. If it's over on the sideline, especially if it's on the Giants sideline, and Hurts is over on the Giants sideline, quarterback's going to get a lot of protections when you're on the other team's sidelines. I don't know where it was, but there just be a lot going on there. They also called false start on the center for Sell, nod of his head, but they didn't throw the flag. Yeah, that's messed up.
Wow, I've seen that one a few times. Yeah, I've seen that call a few times.
That one right there. Called a false start on the center for Sell, nod of his head, but they didn't throw the flag till after Jalen Carter jumped offside. That one right there. There's two things in my personal opinion wrong with that. First one is that's telltale. I don't like the Giants. And second, very, very, very poor communication mechanics between your two line judges, which is essentially the line judge and the down judge.
Right.
Those two things, that's messed up. But knowing what we know about the line judge that worked that game, let's all say it together. Not surprised. One more time, those in the back. Not surprised. Yeah. Okay. So, in case they're not paying attention.
Not surprised.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Hey,
A
but you know
billion-dollar
what?
corporation
The
that can't
worst
secure
call, the
fair.
worst call ever is a illegal procedure on a Fat Raider offensive guard for breathing.
Oh, I've seen, yeah.
Frank Middleton, look it up.
I've seen that one. I was there. Yeah.
Then our slot wide receiver got absolutely mugged with the cornerback turned back to quarterback's hands. Pass didn't call downfield. Again, what I would say to that one you have to watch. I can't comment too much on that, but I will say this: it's Ron Torbert's crew. Beyond that, those you have to watch to really see what was going on there. But I'm not surprised with the Philly game. See, this is why they went to plastic beer bottles in Cleveland. Remember, because they started bombing. You know what? You want to work an Eagles Giants game or any other Eagles game for that matter, but particularly an Eagles Giants game in Philadelphia. I think the Giants are going to be offsides all day, if you ask me. But I mean,
what's up, James?
I want to get home and smoke my, whatever flavor. I'm sorry.
Dark end. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to go home and smoke my dark end.
Oh,
but that's for terrible.
Tune in early, guys. Oh my God.
Well, it's really a challenge. I don't blame you for feeling that way about the officials in a lot of these games. I will say this though.
Smoke them if you got them.
There you go. What we have seen here, folks, though, is that there's consistently bad across the board. I think division games always have a little bit more of a factor to them. This one was a little bit more troubling because it really didn't mean that much to the Giants, so to speak. Philadelphia needed to win in order to stay a game ahead of Dallas, but it's unfortunate that we don't have the consistency that we really would like. And the thing that's more frustrating is that we could have the consistency if we wanted it. For some reason, they don't either seem to want it or they don't know how to get it. But that's unfortunate. I didn't know Raiders are least penalized team. That very well could be this year.
I saw that. I saw that a few days ago.
You haven't played the Colts yet.
Well, but he's just saying that.
Games.
Yeah, overall, they were right up at the top.
You got Sean Smith this week. Okay.
No.
Atlanta going to go into Chicago. Nobody cares. Tennessee going to go to Houston. Nobody really cares too much about that one.
Chicago and Houston.
You want to be Tennessee Jack, Whiskey Jack, or Hatfield McCoy? Which one are you? So you Tennessee.
That's Tennessee Jack, right?
Houston then is Tex something or other, right?
I can be multi-hatted, faceted.
I'm sure you probably could.
I'm bi that way. I'm bi-hatted.
It's a good thing you're multifaceted in Florida because I think it's illegal in Alabama.
I'm bi. I'm only bi this way, not any other way.
So they said.
Goodbye. He said, oh man, Whiskey Jack, you're on the road, man. Goodbye.
So Whiskey Jack, you're going to be able to go into Houston and beat the Texans this week?
I think so because I heard that they got a lot of guys that are hurt on their team, and if they had their regular quarterback, I think it might be a trip that we would probably not want to make.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to win.
Well, we need you to win. And so could you ship a couple extra cases of your specialty nuanced whiskey down there because we need you to win?
Win.
Win?
Well, it's better
3
than
syllables.
that stuff that they have in Florida where it's nuanced and it's special and it's quality. It's either methamphetamine or ganja, but I ain't saying which one it is. Mine just shine. Shine makes you happy.
That makes you happy. Yeah, and lets you sleep too.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me talk to Tex, whatever his name is. What is your other name, Tex?
I don't have a name. I'm from Texas. I don't need a name.
You don't need a name. Yeah, you
I
give
got
your
the
finger
hat.
to the Alamo.
It's the
Texas
Houston.
Jack.
It's the Houston honky tonker.
There you go. Are you going to beat the Whiskey Jacks this week?
No.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
yeah,
I'll make it simple.
you heard it right here.
Solemn says shine can make you angry.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoke it with one of those. Smoke it with one of those dark-ended things. You'll be
Oh
angry
yeah,
for a
right.
while.
That's it. Oh my God.
You'll be Home Alone angry, man.
He ain't smoking one of these. These make you happy.
That's
That's
right.
it.
That they do. Who's playing tonight on Thursday night? Who you got? We have
Let's
the New York
see.
Jets
Yeah.
and Cleveland to take on the Browns. I think we're all
I
on
got the
board with
Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Browns.
We need the Beagles to beat the Chiefs.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
ain't happening.
You and
Having too much
Charlie
fun.
Brown, Captain,
Hey.
having too much fun. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders going to go into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. They're going to go into Lucas Oil Stadium. Can we get a Colts a lube job?
Ooh, that's kind of kinky.
Yeah, I thought so.
But think how kinky it is if you don't lube them. I just say go in there and dominate.
That'd be a rough start.
That'd be a rough. There you go. You get it. but anyway, take care of the Colts. Hey, we're just like storming over everybody. We need 2 more victories and then let the crumbs fall where they fall.
Yeah.
Control your own destiny.
Yeah. All right.
I'm saying
That's true.
Saying it. We're gonna win. We're gonna, and I'm not gonna say it with a well. Shoot, I will say it with a Southern accent. We are going to win.
That's 3 syllables. Yeah, to win. That's it. Raiders all day, baby. Let's go.
A lot of my Steelers coworkers want Tomlin out. I'm
hearing that too.
To the Bears? What? No.
Yeah, well, if Harbaugh doesn't go to the Bears, I can see Chicago trading, because a lot of people are saying that it's going to be via a trade, that Chicago would trade for him in this way, that the Pittsburgh would get something out of it too.
What could Pittsburgh possibly get out of it besides? Never mind. What?
Yeah.
But Raiders give Irsay some Bob Evans sausage gravy. Yeah, minus the sausage.
Yeah.
Wow. Tomlin.
What's up, Isaiah?
Wow.
Yeah, see, I heard that too, and I said, well, if the Harbaugh to the Bears doesn't come to fruition, that would probably be my bet too.
Wow, I can't. Why would Pittsburgh want to do that?
I've been hearing that myself. Yeah.
I don't
because know why. For 50 years, it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
The Steelers have had 3 head coaches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. That's 50 friggin' years, guys.
Ed says Steelers are letting Tomlin go. Wow.
Raiders. Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard that.
What if they go into Seattle this week and beat the Sea Chickens?
I don't think it matters at this point.
Okay. Wow. I still don't know what Pittsburgh could possibly get out of Chicago to let Tomlin go. Wow. Okay. I'm not saying it won't happen.
I love that. Kuntz and Crosby smashing Minshew. Yes, because he ain't a Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he's
going to hurt.
You can rattle him. You can rattle him, and the Colts are going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
They're going to get after him, bro. We got to have some. We got to have some freaking points.
I think the points will come this week.
Right.
I think they will.
If they don't have a healthy Taylor, and he's been iffy all year, if they don't have a healthy Taylor, we win.
Matt says, okay. Matt says unless the Steelers get
Harbaugh,
Tomlin should stay. So you think the Steelers want Harbaugh, and that's why they want Tomlin to go to Chicago?
That would be.
That'd be the 2 brothers coaching against each other.
Again, right?
No,
boy, they're serious when they say the NFL is entertainment. Man, we are so far past any competitiveness in there. All right, so let's go around the table real quick on the Raiders Colts. Wayne, you in on the Raiders?
All day, baby.
Ref, Raiders win on a Jack Jones pick 6.
I saw that. Yeah. Hey, he may get 2 or 3.
Wow. Okay.
And remember, he could have had one against the Vikings.
No, that's true. He should have had one. I'm sort of feeling like maybe this should be, a Raiders archive giveaway game. mean, you guys are all in on the Raiders at Michigan.
Hey, well, we got stuff to give away.
Yeah. All right. And Cap, you're in on the Raiders?
Yep.
Okay. Carolina going to Jacksonville, get beat by the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's angry. They're the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC right now. They're angry. The Rams going to go into New York to take on the Giants. Look, this is a trap game for the Rams. I know everybody says that the Rams are, flying high at this point. Fine. No. But the Giants are not pushovers.
No.
If they want to slash your tires and flatten your whatever things, I mean, they can do it. What do you got? I still like the Rams because they can score more points. But are the Rams in trouble here because they got to go all the way to the East Coast in bad weather, play the Giants?
The weather could be a factor again, and it's going to be cold as hell. But I got the Rams because of the points. They can score more points than the Giants. Bottom line.
Got to root for the Seahawks. Well, we got to root for the Seahawks. We got to root for Tennessee Jack. We got to root for actually got to root for Kansas City. We don't want Kansas City to win. Actually, that's a tough one, right? We need the Bengals out.
Sword, because if we're rooting for Kansas City, the only reason why would because does anybody really think that the Chargers are going to beat Kansas City the last game of the year? No.
Right. No.
Okay, so you're in on the Bengals then?
Well, whatever. If you're thinking that Kansas City is not going to lose to the Chargers next week, whatever is the better outcome this week, and if you're saying that if the Kansas City needs to beat the Bengals, then we'll have to root for that. Because again, it's come day go day. It doesn't really matter because it's a win for us either way.
Either way,
but it would have to be the Chargers beating them next week. And does Kansas City go to SoFi? That I don't know.
Let's see. Let me see.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So we need the Texans to lose.
Houston.
We need the Dallas to we need Pittsburgh to lose.
Yeah.
We need Cincinnati to lose. We need the Colts to lose. Of course, we're
Colts. Yeah.
Right. Who else do we need to lose?
Everybody above us has to.
Well,
lose,
yeah, pretty much, but it's possible. Okay. All right. So, Cap, are you on the Rams or the Giants?
Oh, on this one, if Gabe says no, we suck, I'm going to go with him as the Giants fan. He knows best.
Did anyone think the Raiders would beat the Chiefs other than Raider Nation? No.
No, because they all picked the Chiefs by a landslide.
And what was that friggin' fellatio fest that I had to listen to on CBS with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo? I was like, dude, get the out of your mouth.
Put it on silent. Just mute it. Just mute it. That's the only.
I got an idea. Send him one of those cigars and tell him which end to
smoke. Yeah, which end. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. The Saints going to go into Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. This is an important one for both of these teams as they're both trying to make a move in the NFC South. I like the Bucs at home. I think the Saints are done.
Got the Bucs at home. Yeah.
Fake Pirates because everybody's trying to sell their used car.
Yep. San Francisco going to go in and beat the Commodores. Pittsburgh going to go into Seattle and beat the Seahawks or no? I think Seattle's going to make the wild card, and I think the Steelers are done.
I got the Sea Chickens.
Yeah.
Do you like the Chargers on the road in Denver against the Broncos or no?
Yes.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yes. It is.
You know what? The Chargers actually were playing well the week prior.
They're going to get to Stidham. They're going to hit Stidham hard.
Against Buffalo. Yeah, you know what? I see the Chargers going into Denver.
They're going to hit Stidham often. Trust me.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that if they've got their folks back. They need Eckler. They need who's the wide receiver? Williams.
Yeah.
They need some help there, but I could see that.
JT the Brick says NFL wants the Chiefs to be the new America's team. Wow. I could I can't even argue with that.
Yeah.
Before our game, it was just like, I just turn it off. Don't even want to hear it.
Yeah. That could
yes, Cap.
that
Yeah,
could that
flossing,
that could
flossing.
be.
Yeah,
GA Patriot says for the 7th seed, Raiders only need Houston to lose one game and Pittsburgh to lose at
Baltimore.
Those are very good
and we have to
possibilities.
win our 2.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to win our 2, right? All
yes.
right.
Okay.
2 Chiefs losses. That's what.
Yeah,
Right.
no, that's
said.
true.
Yeah. They need to lose
Easton
them both.
Stick versus Stidham.
I hear Minshew fumbles a lot. I've seen him miscue.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a problem for Indianapolis. Is the way our defense has been playing? That's a problem for Indianapolis. I give you that. I just wish the game was in Las Vegas. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to go into Kansas City. I think they're going to get beat by the Chiefs. We had the Bengals on the clock a while back. In Week 12. I think the Bengals are done.
Yeah, Chiefs win.
Green Bay going to go into Minnesota, take on the Vikings. I don't think this is a game that matters much, if you will, except maybe to Minnesota.
To Minnesota, it does,
but I think the Packers are done. We've had the Packers on the clock for a while, haven't we?
I think week 3 or 4, but I got Minnesota in this one.
We put Green Bay on the clock in week 9. So
week 9, okay, wow.
So they've been down and out for a while. We actually had Minnesota on the clock in week 5. So if you take a look at all the teams that we put on the clock, the only teams really that are left that are even barking much with the playoffs would be the Rams and the Saints.
Bye,
maybe the faux Pirates. We put the faux Pirates in week 13, but the whole NFC South is a crapshoot anyway. So
you think DC comes back the Raiders?
Raiders radio, we're saying Raiders should get Jones from the Chiefs for next season.
You know that if you want a solid middle, it's a win-win because
Chris Jones
you take Chris Jones from the
Chiefs.
Pay money. You got money to spend. You take Chris. That's a win-win because you take him from the Chiefs and you put him on our defensive front.
2 games a year, you know he's going to wreak havoc for sure.
Interesting that comment about the Chiefs and the NFL's love affair with the Chiefs.
Right.
The crew that assigned to that game is essentially the Chiefs fan club of officials. That's John Hussey's
See, that's what we had with the Chiefs. With the Chargers was a Chargers fan base.
If they had wanted that game to be a straight up game, they would have given it to either Clete Blakeman, Carl Sheffers, or Bill Vinovich.
They
gave it to the Taylor Swift loving John Hussey crew.
Well, you know what? Considering that we haven't had Hussey this year, he gets our game next week.
We've had John Hussey. We had him in week 4.
We did?
At LA, yeah.
Okay. I apologize. It's because that's right. Because he was talking the meme of him talking with Herbert like he was about ready to drop down on his knees.
Yeah, exactly. And you know the umpire is for that crew.
Yeah, that's Mahalik.
Yeah. Jeez. But anyway, yeah. I think what happens is be really interesting is if we beat the Colts, when we beat the Colts, we go into week 18.
Who haven't we had?
We haven't had Adrian Hill, Alex Kemp, or Scott Novak. So we haven't had, let's see, Scott. We haven't had.
Adrian Hill's the guy from DC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's got Roy Ellison on there, Jim Quirk, Greg Sneed. I don't want that crew. Alex Kemp, don't want that. That's the last choice because that's got James Coleman on there. Sean Smith crew. Oh, we're getting them this week. Scott Novak has a Boger on there. Trey Boger.
There's no nepotism in the NFL officiating.
No, not at all. So, of the officials that are left, we don't want any of them, quite frankly. I'd rather have a repeat. I'd like to have, we're not going to get it, but I'd like to have maybe Vinovich's crew.
That means we just got to be that more dominant where they can't really affect the game in a negative way.
Well, if the game gets flexed to Sunday night, does that portend maybe we get a crew of renown? Maybe we get no Chippy. That's Dinovich, isn't it?
Yeah.
They could flex it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take no Chippy over anybody else we got.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
I wish we had Sean Smith's crew next week, because that doesn't mean we won't get a repeat. But of the crews that are left, there's 3 crews left that we've not had. But Alex Kemp, Adrian Hill's crew, and Scott Novak. I guess my choices would be Adrian Hill's crew, then Scott Novak, then Alex Kemp. We do not want Alex Kemp's crew. So there you go. We'll see what we get next week. If we don't beat the Colts, it doesn't matter who we get. If we beat the Colts, let it be said on this show, we do not want Alex Kemp's crew. Just mark my words right there. Not that we want the others, but we don't want Alex Kemp.
Take it from the ref.
Yeah. I don't know. Man, that's messed up. It's messed up. Okay, who are we going to put on the clock this week? My vote is the Houston Texans.
I would say Houston, yeah.
I think they're done. C.J. Stroud being out put a damper on what has been a very, very
great, exciting.
You don't put the Texans on the clock?
Yes, we did.
Just all them boots up, Tex. All them boots up, man. You don't need to wear them.
You're going to win against Whiskey Jack and all of his cigar smoking, whiskey drinking.
Only because the Rookie of the Year ain't playing. Maybe.
Well, that has a lot to do with it. I mean, it is what it is. But
you guys are biased.
James is right. If we beat the Colts, AP has a new job. Yep. I agree. I think if we beat the Colts, regardless of what happens next week, I think AP gets a job.
I think the columnists keep moving it. One game next, then we'll have to beat the Broncos. The man.
I don't know. Look, if we beat the Colts, we're going to beat the Broncos. Because if we beat the Colts, we're going to get the combo pack that we need of the other teams to lose, and we're going to be a win and in situation. And if we're in a win and in situation where the Denver has to come to Las Vegas, nobody's going to want to play the Raiders.
And Ed just said we gonna win.
Yeah,
right on, brother.
All right, I think AP has the job already. It very well could be.
Yeah.
If that were the case, though, I don't know why they don't just say that.
I know, but that's it's theater, so they got to make it.
Well, let me ask a question.
Hurry up.
In order to comply by the Rooney Rule, okay, it has to be a candidate outside of the organization, one that is a minority, right? So if that's true, it has to be done where they say it's been done. And I think that's the only reason why, unless that they have contacted somebody on the low, because it's during the season anyway, and he really can't do that. So that's the reason why it hasn't been officially given. But when the Raiders are done with their season, and the thing is, unfortunately, whoever those candidates are, it's going to be hey, buddy, we really like you. And unless it's an offensive guy, like maybe they'll ask Bieniemy to take care of two things with one stone and say, hey, Eric, would you like to be our not really head coach, but maybe our OC? They could do it that way. I think that's the only reason why, because Mark Davis does not want, even though we should be able to say, you know what, we already got a minority head coach and we got a minority to be general manager. Hey, NFL, you're number 11, baby. That's what I think they should do, but they're not going to.
Yeah, a silence question says, back to your comment, Cap, where it has to be outside the organization, a minority. A silence question says, does that mean it has to be a white person? I would say based on the definition of minority, the answer to that is no. But then again, what's the definition of minority? Is the minority mean not the majority regardless of color, or is the majority only a certain color based on no majority? So I don't have the answer to that. I think what we need to do is do the right thing. We've said on this show, we don't care if you're pink, purple, white, orange, blue, green, doesn't freaking matter. What matters is what's in here. And so if they need to interview somebody based on the Rooney Rule, that's fine. The question that if they have to do that, they have to do that, and that's what the NFL says the rules are, and that's what they have to do. Then they can make whatever decision they want to after that. I just don't want them to do it if the other coaches know it's a sham. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. The Rooney Rule was provided to give people opportunity. That's what it should do.
Yes.
And I don't. And if typically the minority of coaches.
Thank you, Asylum.
Were of color and needed opportunity, then they should have gotten that anyway. We shouldn't have to have a rule to do the right thing. But if we needed a rule to do the right thing, then do that, but don't make it a sham. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. That just defeats the whole purpose. But we should do the right thing in this world. Do the right thing. Everything else takes care of itself. One of the questions that I had was, though, what about Bieniemy? Do you think any chance he becomes the OC?
He's coming
because the Washington staff is done.
Right. Yeah. He's either going to come. Well, I think that he's going to go back to KC because they are so want to get rid of Nagy that he's going to go back and try to revitalize.
I can see that.
Chiefs.
I can see
that. He'll probably
go
back to KC. But you know what? Had he not had that history of the domestic violence on his resume back in Colorado, he would have been a viable candidate a long time ago. But because of that, unless Mark Davis can say, you know what, he's done so much since then, that's the only thing that he's going to have to do is say, hey, I know that this gentleman has X, Y, and Z, but you know what? We've given a history of people that have gone and gotten past their past. Okay. Yeah. For example, we gave Waller a big contract. Max Crosby is doing all this. By the way, did anybody notice that he was back wearing the triangle face mask on Christmas?
I was too busy trying to figure out why they were blowing the clock. But okay.
Well, but the thing is that because that was told by the league that he couldn't do that, so either Max said, you know what, F you, I'll pay the fines, or somebody in the drug and alcohol people said, we'll pay it for you, and I applaud that. That.
So GA Patriot says that CJ Stroud had a full practice and he's going to start.
Yeah, I was reading that. Right, I was reading that.
I still don't think that takes them off the clock, but maybe.
Nah.
Maybe. The Tennessee's not going to go away. Yeah. I mean, they can play. Their only job at this point is to play spoiler. But that's an interesting twist to that. If CJ Stroud starts, that's a different picture.
Oh, yeah.
A better opportunity for Houston to maybe come out of there with the win. Yep. So we'll see. But we're bold on this show. We don't put people on the clock because we like
Anna says AP has woke up the nation. Yeah, woken up.
I thought the Rooney Rule meant looking at minorities. Isn't AP considered a minority?
And that's the reason why I say that they should just tell the NFL to shove it sideways.
Shove it right. Pay the fine and hire the man. Yeah.
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 If that's what the if that's what the effect is of not quote following the rule.
Pay the fine and just, hey, this is our guy.
But again, you shouldn't have to have the rule in the first place
if you're already doing it.
Why is it called the friggin' Rooney Rule when it should be the Al Davis Rule when we were hiring minorities before anody?
Well, that's a really good question. Sure. And I don't have the answer for that.
That's a good one, Cap. Where did that come from?
That's a good point. Well, it's called the Rooney Rule because he put forward or authored it or whatever. So usually authors get credit for something. Al Davis, Al Davis wasn't the type to have to do that. He just did the
He
right
just
thing.
did it. Gotcha.
He didn't look for accolades for it.
Yeah.
I know.
We have enough of our own rules. So Sage is going to Walmart to get a clock and some barbecue sauce. Well, he's going to get a good deal on both of them because I think they just lowered the price on their clocks. But okay, yeah,
and damn, they're too cold to barbecue.
Yeah, I think if he starts, I think Houston has 65% chance of winning that thing. I just don't think the Titans are going to go away. But the Titans, they may just feel like they're done. Like every other Titans team, they got to run the ball, play good defense. I don't know if they can do either of those. And who's even starting for them now? Is it Ryan Tannehill? That's probably not going to end well for them.
I think it's Tannehill because I think the other kids still Levis is still banged up.
Yeah. And they use and Malik Willis is probably going to be available in a trade because
he
I don't
get
think
much playing
I don't
time
think
over
that
there.
ends well. All right, well, we're a little less than an hour from kickoff between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Thanks everybody for joining us this week on our Week 17 show of NFL Nation Live. Next week, I think we'll have a pretty good view of who's in, who's out, with the exception of a couple of slots. And keep an eye on that Tennessee-Houston game because I think the Bengals get beat. I think the Steelers get beat. The Browns are probably in. So there's only 2 spots left. Buffalo probably has one of them. Buffalo probably has one. So if Cleveland and Buffalo are going to take those spots, then the one that's left is going to belong to, we said Pittsburgh was going to fade for a while. So, we need the Texans to lose. We need Pittsburgh to lose. Good possibility. The Bengals to lose. Good possibility. Who else is in there? There's a lot of bubble teams right now, but
I got Bubbles. I had her last year over at one of the strip clubs. I've been with Bubbles.
Oh, well, that's good.
Don't say that on there. Come on.
Yeah, you and Bubbles. Let's see, Bubbles. Who else is on there? Okay, right now the wild card spots in the AFC belong to Cleveland, Buffalo, and Indianapolis.
Well,
teams ahead of us, aside from the Colts, teams ahead of us: Houston, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. All 3 of those could lose. We beat the Colts. We're going to move way up.
We're going to move way up.
So the kink in that might be the Texans not getting beat by Tennessee. But if they get beat by Whiskey Jacks, I think the Bengals go down. I think the Steelers go down. And we beat the Colts, man. That's going to really flip that playoff picture.
Flip that whole playoff picture. Yes,
because the only other team left out there with a possibility is Denver. But we're going to beat Denver next week.
Right on time, Richie.
And I think somebody said we just need the Steelers to win to lose one of 2. But they I don't know if they lose to Baltimore, the Ravens of Baltimore. But everybody else has been eliminated in the AFC. So we'll see how it goes. One game at a time. That's why we're here. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Do we miss anybody?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
New Year.
Miss anybody else in the show? We need look for Tom Coughlin tree for our next OC. Who does Tom Coughlin have in the tree that we would want?
Let's see.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Wasn't he the how we ended up with all those who was that clown we had for a while, OC, that none of us liked?
There's
been I know that doesn't narrow it down because there's been a bunch of them, but
I was gonna say because there was the bed and breakfast guy when Andrew Walter was our quarterback.
Well, yeah. Wow. That's the one I'm thinking of, actually.
Yeah. That's why I'm on the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for having us as a guest on your show again, Cap. Appreciate that.
Hey, love it, man.
All right. We'll take it. They don't call the Al Davis rule because the NFL likes the Steelers more than probably.
Yeah.
Jacobs back next season, yeah or nay?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
I don't think you got to get the capital for him while you can. The question is, where does he go?
Well, and regardless of our sentiments, it all goes back to youth and less money.
He goes to Chicago. If Tomlin goes to Chicago, that's what I think.
Wow. I wish him well wherever he lands. I
Yeah.
don't see him back with us.
And
Yeah.
you're going to have to save a lot of money for Chris Jones.
Yes. There you go. I like that. Whoever mentioned that, that would be the missing piece right there.
Did I see a Kinlaw on somebody's team this week?
Yeah, I think he has a son that's in the league.
Okay, I thought I saw
Reggie
somebody
Kinlaw, yeah.
somebody
I don't know
name
what
on the
team,
back
but
with jersey with Kinlaw on it. I'm
I
like,
know he's
wow.
in the league somewhere.
Just curious. Best nose tackle to ever play the game.
Yes, sir. Underrated.
Yeah, totally. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the show. We'll see you again next week, Thursday, 3/6, week 18. And then it'll be playoff time, and we'll get to see the Michigan Wildcats at home against somebody.
It's live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take care, guys. Happy New
Take
Year.
care, everybody.
Yeah.
Go Raiders.
Yeah. Beat the Colts. We got horses for 2 weeks now.
That's what I said.
and
It's
then we
double
got the
doses of the horses.
Horse meat is real lean, baby. Horse meat is real lean.
They got the new old logo. They got the D with the horse in it, but he's not blowing any snot out of his nose. Why'd they do that?
He's got none left.
And it was on the white helmet. I'm like, that does not look right.
Yeah, something wrong with the cocaine snot blowing donkey. Okay. Well, all right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Next week. Take care, guys.